from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taff here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp. It's Monday.
Oh, hi, Jenny.
How we doing?
Shannon, how are you? Oh, just another slow ho-hum weekend here in Southern California. How about them Cowboys? How about that Cody Parkey? Did you see that?
We did.
We got this. We got this. We're good.
How you doing today?
How are you? I'm so good today.
Yeah, I watched the Golden Globes.
Tell you how good I am.
Oh, did you see those Golden Globes last night?
I did.
Oh, man, that was awesome.
That's what you're celebrating?
Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah.
Okay.
I ain't watched football yesterday.
Yeah.
On
Great.
Saturday night,
Yeah.
I was out on the town.
You're about
Somehow
to
I
be
doubt
out
that.
this whole show.
Somehow I doubt that. Well, either way, we're going to talk about what we saw over the weekend. On today's show, Dak gets the big win. Lamar Jackson gets the tough loss. And then Tom Brady, is he in trouble on Sunday? But let's start in Chicago and how that one ended. The defending champion Eagles are looking like the team of destiny again. Nick Foles finished with 2 touchdown passes, including one at Golden Tate late in the fourth quarter to put the Eagles up 1 with under a minute left. Mitch Trubisky gets the Bears into field goal range, but in one of the oddest things we have ever seen. Cody Parkey's game-winning field goal attempt was apparently tipped. Then the ball hit the upright and crossbar and was no good. The Eagles move on to play the Saints on the road on Sunday. Let's take a listen to Parkey on that devastating miss.
That's the worst, one of the worst feelings in the world to let your team down. So I feel terrible. I'm going to continue to put things in perspective, continue to just put my best foot forward and just sleep at night knowing that I did everything in my power this week to go and make that kick. And for whatever reason, at the crossbar and the upright, and I still couldn't do it. So, yeah, I feel terrible.
Whew. Okay, Skip, what was your reaction to the missed field goal?
So, Jenny Taft and Shannon Sharp, I must admit here publicly, I spent that whole second game yesterday trying to convince myself that my Dallas Cowboys could go win at New Orleans. They had beaten Drew Brees, as you remember, November 29th, that Thursday night. That, of course, was at Jerry World. And I kept trying to convince myself they got the blueprint. They can go down there. I know it'll be hard, but in my heart of hearts, I just knew they would have a better chance, if not a much better chance, to come out here, pretty nearby where we're sitting right now, to the LA Coliseum to play the Los Angeles Rams, because this is the Cowboys' home away from home, because they have trained out here since 1963. Training camps, obviously, in Thousand Oaks and Oxnard. And the Cowboy Nation takes over the Coliseum, and it could be a home away from home game on Saturday night. So,
them 4 Cowboys fans take over everywhere.
Yeah, they do. So, sometimes some crazy thing happens to start the NFL playoffs that changes the entire outcome of the whole playoffs, that dictates everything, and this just might have been that crazy thing, because in all my years of watching and covering football, college and pro football, high school football for that matter, I have never, ever seen a field goal hit the upright and then the crossbar and bounce back toward the end zone. No good. I've seen them hit the upright and the crossbar and bounce good toward the end zone stands. You've seen that, right? But I've never seen this one. So let's reconstruct what happened. Obviously, your man, Doug Peterson, did have the wherewithal to call a timeout to ice Cody Parkey on his first kick. And I remind everybody, Cody Parkey had made the Pro Bowl back in 2014 as an Eagles kicker, right? And so timeout, and on the first kick, it looked like it went pretty much right down the middle, right? He nailed it. Kick number 2, this is from 43 yards away. Somebody named Trayvon Hester, I did not know, who started this year on the Eagles practice squad, gets his hand up on the football and tips it at the line of scrimmage. So it's a crosswind. It is a tricky crosswind at Soldier Field. So I'm going to guess that he got just enough of the football that it raised its level a little bit. It hung a little bit in the crosswind, just long enough. It hit the upright. Then the football gods intervene, because who knows why, what, how, and the ball falls just so that it hits flush on the inside of the crossbar. And it hits so hard on the crossbar, it bounced completely across the end zone. It almost went back in the field of play. It hit near the goal line. So it wasn't even close to bounding the right way, the good way. And all of a sudden, it's just devastation. I'm sitting back, I'm trying to process, and I can't make it go in my head. Wait. Nick Foles just won at Chicago. He did it again. He's now 4-0 for this regime. And by the way, he played Drew Brees in a 2013 playoff game for Chip Kelly. Remember that? That was a cold night, Saturday night in Philadelphia. And Nick Foles played really well in that game, but Drew Brees took him for a last-second field goal, a walk-off field goal to win that game. So all of a sudden, I'm processing yesterday, could Nick Foles go down to the Superdome and beat the #1 seed, the Saints? Sure he could. I would give him a shot. This team, it's looking like last year's team. Am I right about that? The secondary has come back together. And that front seven is hellacious good. And that offensive line did a superb job yesterday against Khalil Mack.
Jason Peters was unbelievable.
He was unbelievable yesterday. So, again, do I give him a chance? Obviously, New Orleans will be favored. It looks like it's going to be up to, like, I think it opened around 10. It'll be an 8, 7-point game.
It's at 9 right now.
Okay, 9. Okay, somewhere in there it's being bet wildly one way and the other. And that brings me to this idea. Could the Cowboys come out here? They're already a 7-point underdog, which I think is absurdly wrong because I think they're way better than a 7-point underdog. But could they come out here and beat the Rams? Sure, I'd give them a real chance because they're just on a roll.
Right.
What, 8 out of 9 now, right? That works. And is it possible, the long shot notion that I brought up to you last week of an NFC Championship game at Jerry World between the Eagles and Cowboys for a third time this year, except this time with Nick Foles in place of Carson Wentz, a quarterback? Is that possible? I know it's a long shot, but suddenly it's possible. All of a sudden, one crazy kick, the craziest kick I've ever seen.